So today we want to do an update to one of the first videos that April and I did, where we discussed the E-Series and the T-Series laptops from Lenovo. We want to introduce you to the L-Series laptops and show you how that fits into the lineups and what the advantages of the L-Series are and when you might want to choose it.
These models are still very similar in regards to specs. You can get these in either an i5 or an i7. You can get about the same amount of memory in all of these models, depending on the one that you select, and the storage is still about the same. So that's really not what we're going to be talking about today, because it doesn't matter which model you pick for those requirements.
So really, the differences between the laptops, like you said, April, aren't so much about performance, but some of the external features you might need, such as extra RAM, roll cage or durability, access to a mechanical dock. So April, when you're talking to our clients, what are some things that our clients are asking us about on when they're trying to choose a laptop?
The first item that I'm going to ask is if they want to connect this laptop to external monitors. If this is what they'd like to do, I would recommend going with the L or the T series, as this has a side connector to connect to a mechanical dock. This will allow you to have a very clean workspace when you're connecting to additional monitors.
And if I understand correctly, the important keyword there is monitors. Remember, the the E series can connect one external monitor with the built-on HDMI port. But if you want to run multi-monitor with your laptop, so 2 external monitors or more, then you need to go into the L or the T series and potentially a mechanical dock. Is that correct?
Yes, you can get a USB dock for the E series. It's just not going to be as clean, and it will require you to connect several cables.
So April, another area that's important to people is running a lot of programs, and to run a lot of programs takes more RAM. And most of the laptops from Lenovo are coming with 8 gigs of RAM that works in a lot of cases for a lot of people, but we're finding more and more clients wanting to upgrade to 16 gigs or maybe even 32 gigs of RAM in a laptop. Is that something we have to consider when choosing between these series of laptops?
With the E series, you can upgrade it. However, you're going to have to remove that 8 gig RAM that you purchased with it and replace it with a more expensive 16 gig or 24, 32 gig, whatever you choose. This can be done for a lot less money on the L and the T series because these do have an additional slot. You can just add an 8 gig rather than replacing what you've already paid for.
All 3 of these series ThinkBooks from Lenovo have a military specification attached to them for their durability and ability to stand up in rough environments. But I think there are some differences between the three laptops. Can you explain some of those differences, April?
Yes, these are all mil-spec, like you said, which means they are designed to deal with any of your business scenarios that you have. However, depending on how you treat your laptop will depend on which one you want to choose. The T series has a function called a roll cage, which acts the same as a roll cage in a race car. You could drop this and the chances of it surviving are very high. You're not going to damage the mechanics inside of it. However, with the L and the E, these do not have that safety feature. They are meant more for staying stationary, whereas the T is a truly mobile laptop.
And remember, that's not a Skycomp or Lenovo guarantee that your T-Series laptop won't break if you drop it. It's just that aluminum body and that roll cage that they built into it makes it much more resistant to impacts or drops. The chances are better that that's going to keep working after that mistake.
Yeah. There's also a spill channel inside of the T-Series keyboard, which means that if you spill your coffee or your wine or whatever you're drinking, it has a better chance of avoiding the mechanics that are inside. However, you still might wind up with some sticky keys.
And you might think that that's a crazy thing, but over the years, we have had more than one laptop come in that has a wine spill or a coffee spill on it. So that channeling is a very important feature. It keeps that liquid flowing around the keyboard and out the sides rather than down into the motherboard, RAM and processor where it can short circuit those electronics inside. And if that happens, it's a lot more expensive to replace your entire laptop than just the keyboard.
Yes. We do sell a lot of the E, the L, and the T because each of these do have their place in depending on the office structure. The E is great for an entry-level staff that is running Office and email and is mostly sitting in one space. The L is fantastic if you need to bring your laptop maybe between home and into the office and you need to connect to multiple monitors. And the T is fantastic for the person who is constantly moving around and has their laptop in their bag at all times.
So when you first glance at all these laptops, they all look very similar, but there's a couple aesthetic differences between the laptops. April, what are some of those?
The L and the E look very similar. When you open them up, they look very similar. However, the T series, you're going to notice that it has a backlit keyboard.
That could be very helpful when working on a plane, the lights are low, or you're working at your home office at night and the kids are in bed. You're able to see your keys in a darker room. So that could be a very big advantage to using that laptop while on the go.
And in regards to appearance of these laptops, you can get any of these models in a 14 or a 15-inch model. The differences you're going to see with that is the number pad is the biggest thing. The 15-inch screen has a large enough keyboard to support having a number pad, where however the 14-inch does not, as it is more compact.
And so if you work in the accounting industry that we deal with a lot of clients with, you'll definitely want to be looking at the 15-inch because the number pad, you use that more than the keyboard. So April, we were just talking about the RAM expandability and the different RAM slots that we have in the laptops, but is there differences on how much RAM each laptop can support?
There is a bit of a difference. The E series supports up to 32 gigs of RAM, whereas the L and the T, you can find models that support up to 64 gigs.
Okay, so if you have those applications that need a lot of RAM, or you need to have an awful lot of tabs in Excel open, you might be wanting to look at the L or the T series laptops for that extra expandability.
Absolutely. We don't often need to put more than 32 gigs of RAM into a laptop, but if that is your situation, the E does not fit into the scenario.
Another feature that comes up for clients is a touchscreen. While not everybody's interested in it, it is something that you have to specify when you're purchasing the particular model you want. So out of these laptops, April, which ones have touchscreen?
Actually, the last time we did a video, we did have to mention that the only laptop provided at that time that had the touchscreen was the T. However, with the new generations being released this spring, you can find touchscreens across all three models.
It's great that Lenovo added that feature to the E-series lineup as well, so that we didn't have to move up people to that those higher end machines if they needed that extra feature. But again, it is something when you're speccing your particular laptop, you have to choose that up front.
Yes, it's definitely not an upgrade option. It's not something we can fix after the purchase. It needs to be built into the screen. This is just a high-level view of some of the features of these laptops. However, if you are having some difficulty choosing which laptop is right for you, it is best to consult your IT professional, or you can reach out to us at Skycomp.
Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this useful. If you want some more videos of some other Lenovo gadgets and features, click here. And if you want to have some general interest videos on how to operate some of the software you use every day, click here.